What's up, guys and goddesses? My name is Paris Khalees. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I did a number with that intro. Yeah, I tried to record. Tell me why I tried to record a whole makeup tutorial type just talk video, and my foundation was like way lighter and I could finally see it in the camera. So like the camera really gave me a little bit of advice or something, I guess you could say, because this was way lighter than my complexion. I need to either mix foundations because the other tone that's kind of next to this one is a little bit darker. So either I mix them together or something gotta shake. I don't know. But y'all, I don't even want to upload that YouTube video because it's just, yeah. But I do have another YouTube video, so it's great because I can still, the best thing about making videos is that I can always erase, delete, whatever I want to do. So yeah, into the topic, because I'm not trying to make the video super long. But what I was kind of briefly mentioning in my other videos, that my birthday is coming up soon, and basically how I've been trying to get into makeup and doing other things, as well as I've been getting into my coloring and stuff, and you can check that out on my TikTok page and all that such, basically. But anyways, right into the video, because I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Just basic Q&A about what it's like to be a young mom, and then be a young mom solely doing it mostly on her own. I still do have support from family members, as well as her dad. He watches her on his off days, and I watch her on my off days, as well as the days I'm working, I watch her too. That's the only difference, is that he'll watch her specifically on his off days because he has more off days than me, and then I watch her on the days that I work as well. So, but yeah, what it's like, I'm turning 22 this month. My daughter's 1. She turned 1 in March, and I turned 22 here in May. And yeah, I just wanted to basically kind of do a quick little Q&A, just to kind of be more personable, because a lot of times I don't really talk about me being a young mom on my channel. I talk about it, I definitely talk about it, but I don't really get into it like that. So I kind of wanted to kind of deeper talk about it, I guess, to kind of be more personable, because this is my channel, it's YouTube. So yeah, but yeah, I wrote down some questions I got from the internet, kind of just to give me somewhere to start off with. But yeah, the first question basically, and this is very personal for me, so yeah, let me get out the mess. Okay, so what was your reaction when you found out you were pregnant? Let's see. I think I mentioned this before in another video. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I don't think I did. The first time when I took a test, it didn't come back positive. It came back negative. And then the second test that I took came back. It took me a week to take a test again. I think it took a couple days because I didn't believe it, but then I kept getting signs spiritually, and then, you know, you just have that feeling. So I was like, maybe I took it wrong. And then I tried it again. It came back instantly positive. I took 2 tests. So yeah, I don't really know what my reaction was, to be honest. It kind of was just a bit shocked, but not like, I kind of barely remember. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a minute. I don't really remember what my reaction was. I know that I was like, I need to keep this kind of to myself. I don't know if I kind of went into like a panic mode, but I knew I didn't want to. I know I was having a baby very young, but I knew I wanted to have my baby. So yeah. What's the hardest part about being a single mom? This is a very personal question. Because me and her dad's relationship is kind of a bit complicated, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I do technically consider myself still a single mom because I do stay with family, but I'm still very much working, and it kind of like what I would have kind of imagined kind of would be just, I know life of course never is perfect, but what I would have kind of imagined was kind of to be with your person, and you know, you're doing a family thing in terms of having a child. That's what I feel like the best foundation for a child. You're kind of with your person. Not saying that a foundation can't be built or can't be, you know, still good without. Sometimes it's better without that person or this and that, just depending on your circumstance. But what you would kind of imagine, what I kind of imagined, was having like a foundation. And I think that's kind of like the hardest part about it, is that I do still stay with family, and it's kind of like trying to navigate still, hey, being on your own. And then you would kind of think the moments where you'd be like, man, it'd be great if she could be watching her dad, like times where I'd be cooking in the kitchen, because I can really do things by myself, but at times I can get tired, and it'd be great if I'd be like, oh wow, if you had your partner. Because you can really think, I say, when you're being like a single mom, you really think like, the hardest part I say is that you know that it can be, having a child is still meant for two people. Like, it can be done with one person, but it would be way easier with two, like working together, who actually actively working together, because that's where it's supposed to be meant to be, you know. And so at times where I'm cooking and my daughter wants my attention at the same time, where I'm trying to hurry up and cook us some meals, it'd be great if you had the other parent to like watch your child at those times, and you could switch watch, but then be together, and it's just that thing. But you know, sometimes things just don't work like that, which is understandable. And you know, I've come to accept that it's not something that's fully lashing me, but at times like that, yeah, I do think about that, like it'll be easier. So I say that's probably like the hardest part. It's kind of like sometimes doing a lot of things on my own. Yeah, or like that time I went to the park and I was trying to push her up the hill, like with the stroller. Sometimes like that stuff can be hard, but that's just a part of motherhood. What's something nobody warned you about motherhood? A lot of things I had really just experienced on my own, but I can't really say. I might come back to that question. The other one I see is, do you ever feel lonely? In terms of loneliness, the only time that kind of does make me feel just a little bit type of way, not even really too much, because I just come to accept it. And I come to acceptance of meeting people where you are. I've always kind of been kind of to myself anyways, like even before my daughter. Yeah, I didn't really only had a few friends in school, and even then I kind of fell out with my friends like right before college, so I was really already like to myself. If I wasn't speaking with somebody in terms of situationship or relationship or anything like that, but I was already kind of to myself. And even as a child, I always was to myself, really. Like, I like to be to my own space anyways. Yes, sometimes I do kind of wish I had kind of more mom friends, which I maybe might come along the way in my life. But yeah, that would be great, because kind of like relatability and like that kind of be wanting like to have friends that's like, I used to smoke and stuff like that, and I kind of don't want to do that stuff. Like, I don't want to be having to smoke and drink. A lot of times people want to hang out, they want to do those things. Not saying all the time, because some people don't, you know, but I kind of want to lean towards more, let's go out, do something actually fun, versus just, not saying smoking and drinking can't be fun or whatever, but yeah, that part. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. But anyways, yeah, so the main thing that I say that I ever is that at times I'll be like, okay, if I'm out or say I'm around talking to somebody young or something like that, and then they'll talk to me all cool or whatever, and then blam, they kind of find out I'm a mom or whatever. Maybe I'm just overthinking this, but then they kind of start acting just a little bit weird because they're like, oh, you're a mom, because I'm a young mom at that. So it kind of a bit like, it's almost like it's hard to kind of relate to a person that's just not a mom, you know, but around the same age. It's weird to say, kind of, because it's just two completely different experiences. Not really fully different, but still very, very different experiences. That's the only time I can say it's kind of like controversial. But I just came to a point in my life right now where I kind of just accepted that for what it is, because I wouldn't want it any other way. So yeah, what motivates you to keep going? Let's speak more positively. So something that basically motivates me to keep going as a mom is my daughter. Just kind of wanting to make sure that we get settled, having a sense of foundation, having a sense of comfortability and settledness. She's very much my biggest inspiration. Honestly, before I had my daughter, I can say that I didn't really, I mean, of course, you're young. I didn't really like too much care for certain things, like in terms of like being consistent and trying to just be better, in terms of like I kind of would just push things off. I was a little bit more nonchalant about things that kind of could have took more seriously and kind of helped me push forward. And like, she really is my motivation for that, to keep pushing forward. And I think and to just want to do better for myself so that I can be an example for her to do better, as well as I grow, just to do better. And then that way it's just easier for her. Like, she's my biggest motivation. Like, there's a lot of things I think about that I push myself a little bit more because I want to be better for not only myself but for my daughter. And she pushes me to want to be better. So it's definitely purpose as to why she came in my life. So yeah, she's my biggest motivation. And yeah, it's asking, what is one thing you miss about your old life? Let me think. No, my daughter really did change a lot of good things for the better in my life. Like, I don't smoke anymore at all. Once I got pregnant, I quit cold turkey, and then I did it again around my birthday, kind of around when she was still kind of like, I think a month or two, about probably 2 months, and I did not like it. I thought it felt junky. Yeah, and I'm glad I feel like that, because I just feel like it's just, I don't know, I like to keep my mind more clear. And then even being around my daughter, I don't want to be smoked up all day. I just don't want to feel like that. It's just me personally. I'm not judging anybody else, but I just don't want to feel like that. So it's just like, I kind of, around the time where before I had my daughter, I was smoking more. And so for one, I'm also, during pregnancy, I was getting used to being fully sober, and then two, being pregnant and getting unpregnant. So it's like mom brain and all this at the same time. So it's like I can't really think about mainly then. The only thing, maybe like sometimes going out, sometimes I'd say, or I don't know. I just really love my daughter. I can't really think of like nothing right now in the moment, because like she really gives me my purpose in my life. What's the best part of being a young mom? I'd say when I get to hold my daughter, when she hugs, or when just watching my daughter grow and how smart she is, and then like her talking, and just seeing her personality, just everything about it. I think that's just my favorite part. I'm not like, I don't have that regret. I would say I am only at the point where I'm only having one child, but I'm not like regretful about it, or just like, no, like I hate when people assume that or anything like that, like about young people being moms or young moms. Or I mean, some people can be regretful, but I don't have any regrets about it. How do you handle stress and burnout? Because that definitely can happen. Okay, most of the time on like days like this really be good for me right now, especially with her being very small and her kind of being more whiny at times. Even though I kind of wish I did have more off days to be with her, like at least another off day. Like I was supposed to have like Saturdays off, but I took Saturdays so that I could save more money. But yeah, I kind of be wanting more time too with her. Like I have 2 days out the week with her, and so it's just like full days, where the other days if I'm working, then it's, you know, whatever. But I do wish I had another day, like at least one more day, and then I still work from that way, just to deal with my daughter. That's why I make videos and stuff, so that if I push my content and stuff out there, maybe it'll be easier to kind of have this going, and then get to have more time with her, you know, as much as I can. So yeah, it's trying to find a balance. I think that's like the hardest part, I'd say. About, if they ask the hardest part, I think that's another thing, making sure it's the balance. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't say that. Finding the balance, because you're gonna have to find the balance, or else you will lose it, I swear. That's the main thing. I think that's it, because if you have the balance, you're really fine. Everything's fine. Finding the balance between work, dealing with your child, cleaning up, oh my gosh, cleaning, organizing, stuff like that. Keep yourself organized, finding time for you. I'd say, like, when I get this time, like here, like days like this, I like to unwind, or I like to record, I like to have fun, like to color, stuff like that. I have time to myself, which I do like to have. But at these times it can get hard too, because actually another thing I say is the hardest part is the days where like days like this, sometimes I get sad, because I want to still see my daughter, you know. I still want to be around her. I'm used to having her with me. It's that, like, you know, that's another hard thing I was gonna mention, like having kind of being separated with the other parent. Is like, I think that the other parent too feels that same way, but like just that feeling of you missing your daughter. You still want to be around your daughter, but just it is hard to do it, you know, kind of by yourself at times. But, or find that balance, it can be hard. But it's just like that's be the main thing when you missing my child on days like this, and then I get sad out of nowhere, because just then I'm feeling all the emotions of just having the time to myself, and then just thinking like, okay, you know, because you just feel like your mom like the whole time. So like, yeah, that's the main thing. So yeah, those were some very personal questions. I didn't think they was gonna get that deep, but they was pretty personal. But yeah, that's just me getting more personal on my channel, and just questions kind of like regarding me being a young mom. I did post some tips. I don't know if y'all watched that video, but I'll put it right here. I have a YouTube video that I posted, just like tips on for being like a beginner mom, things that you should get and like don't get, that I suggest highly. And it's not that many things, but things that I would just suggest for me, for personal experience. Everybody's experience is different. But yes, so I'm getting sleepy now. It is getting later, and yeah, so yeah, it's getting later. But everybody's experience is different. And again, before I do let y'all go, make sure to go subscribe with me, connect with me on my YouTube channel. Connect with me. You can talk to me in the chat. Connect with me on TikTok at Thriving Naturally 01. Yeah, and I should be posting some birthday pictures soon, hopefully. But with that being said, peace.